future of luxury is electric. Introducing the Cadillac Lyric. Now
Tearing the phone up in here, son. Scared of you, man. He was there during the Palestine protest a couple years ago when I got attacked and robbed, man. This was like the one guy in the crowd that got my phone back too, man. I ain't gonna say nothing, bro. I don't want to be recognized. I'm just a fly on the wall. But I got attacked and robbed, and I gotta get my phone back soon, man. May still have some action. Seems like you didn't miss much, man. Wind chill's gotta be crazy over here in Maple Grove. I gotta get a fresh this, man. My nicotine, man, I'm starting to fall asleep. 9 hours, right. is. Cold. Hey, he's not supposed to. Cops are back out over here. Cops are coming back out. knocking me up. They playing who the fuck is June? Oh, on kick? I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Shout out, dude. Hell yeah. I don't know what the weather is right now, dude. It's cold as fuck, dude. Dude, this wind is ripping right now. We pull up Maple Grove. Cold as fuck, man. Dude, shit might go down here, man. Cops are all over there. Look, dude, it's so hard to type with my fucked up phone. Let's see what the weather is. Feels like -4. Not too bad. Not a lot worse. Can't keep my hand on my gloves too long though. Alright, put the chat away. I can only see the chat on my phone, man. I hate it. I hate it, man. I don't know why I can't see YouTube chat on this phone. Okay, but if you're just tuning in now, apparently, like the head of ICE in Minneapolis is staying here at the Residence Inn. From what I've heard, Greg Bovino is staying here, and this is why everybody's here protesting. Apparently, there are a few arrests made. They've declared this an unlawful protest. Everybody in the area is open to be arrested. So, shit might pop off here any minute. Police are moving. See the filming. My old Call of Duty characters were trained with you. It could be tear gas, there could be flashbangs deployed, water cannons, bear mace, everything's possible. not gonna lie, man. She's hot. I'm loving it. I heard somebody else yelling over here. Alright, they're putting up more police tape over here. They got the dump trucks, snowplow trucks, man. They got undercover van. They got this whole fucking road down here barricaded for shit. I'm alright. Thank you. Yeah, see, they got these trucks here. For yeah, they got this whole shit blocked off. Apparently, a bunch of ICE people are staying here, including Greg Mazzino. Okay, cops are moving in. No, thank you. They're gonna grab the shovel from over here. There's still a few cops in the area. Also, thank you for that power chat, man. Whoever said that $15, thank you, bro. Everything else, man, I'm out here for like fucking 9 hours, probably over 9 hours today, man. Because of this shit. Going crazy here in Minnesota, dude. Every donation helps, man. Okay, there's some more people over here. We can see what's going on here for a second.
I'm not hanging back with this, bro. If they can give me a better right back to ACL, so you want to go back, go ahead. I just feel like more people. That's that with you? What's up?
I don't know, man. Not hard.
Oh,
I'm just within bed, man. And got mogged on by the Lane Street media. I hate getting mogged. But you got the
Lakers are good.
Protesters got kettled out. People got arrested. And I think the second wave is just starting. They're gonna see what happens. But I just go outside and get water. Cops are fucking plastic. And they're protecting their fucking licenses.
See, all the police are right here. They're ready, y'all. They're ready. All the feds are just right there, man. Ready. Thank you, thank you. Only a matter of time until the police come back out here. It's our duty, it's our right. Strike, 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 strike. Strike, 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 strike. Strike, 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 strike. Strike, 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 strike.
What do we want?
Ice out.
What do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ice out.
What do we want it?
Now.
Guys, get eyes out.
Well, a little birdie told me rates are
right there. I'm just chatting with my photojournalist right here. Let me get this point of view right here, right? Yeah, so you have one, then it looks like a second row. That's the grocery store right there that we're told the situation happened outside. It looks like you're still able to get into that grocery store, so the secured scene, to my point of view right here, isn't like quite blocking the entrance of the grocery store. So I'm sure if it happened in the street in front, if it happened in the sidewalk, we're hearing all of these folks chatting some slurs, some loud phrases against the agents. Right, let's spin around right here because as you see, they're just adjusting the tape right here. That tape right there is connected to a Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, but right here it appears to me, right there you have federal agents against Hennepin County Sheriff. So I'm unsure of the Sheriff's Office role at this point. I'm unsure. Let me move away from that megaphone so you can hear me a little more. We're unsure of if they are just re-upping that tape or if they're working to move the line back. And this is what we're seeing right here. We have the agents right there and then bystanders talking to them, which is one line in between. It looks like two people being escorted by agents out. And I'm just going to take a pause for a quick second so Ray, our photojournalist, can kind of show you this as it unfolds. I'll step back and just kind of do a little more narration as we can. Why don't we, Ray, just give the viewers a quick point of view, just a big scan of what's going on here. If you're just joining us, thank you for watching our coverage. We're here in Minneapolis at Nicollet and 27th Avenue. Reg Chapman anchoring while we're here, boots on the ground. Reg, I'll send it back to you, and we're just trying to learn more. And we'll see if you have any other information there in the studio.
Thank you, Frankie. CBS News has confirmed that the Department of Homeland Security has said that the suspect did have a gun. Gun as well as 2 magazines were at the scene. They are tweeting a picture to CBS News that the suspect allegedly had a gun and 2 magazines, and that's what we found out by CBS News has confirmed that from the Department of Homeland Security. We've also heard from Governor Walz, who did say that he has confirmed there has been another shooting by a federal law enforcement officer here in the city of Minneapolis. That shooting happened near 27th and Nicollet Avenues, not far from downtown, in front of the Good Grocer. We are expected to hear from Border Control Captain Greg Bovino. His originally stated for 11 o'clock this morning. It has now been pushed to noon. We're expecting to hear more from him. We will have a crew there to get his remarks about what is happening right now near 27th and Nicollet Avenues. The city of Minneapolis has put out a tweet asking people to remain peaceful. For the people who are there at the scene, they're asking others to avoid that area if all necessary right now, because there's so much going on there. They're asking for people to avoid that area and for crowds there to use their First Amendment rights, but also do that peacefully. All this is happening a day after thousands of protesters merged into downtown Minneapolis. The Ice Out, a scheduled event, and other events across the city where members of the clergy and people from all over the country came to express their discontent with ICE in our communities. That happened yesterday. It was a very peaceful event, and now this is happening now near 27th and Nicollet Avenues. We do know that there has been a shooting. Federal law enforcement agents there at that scene. It is a very chaotic scene. There are protesters there. They are blowing their whistles and a lot of profanity. That's what Frankie Lister was telling us, being very careful with the audio in that area. If you look, you're seeing video there of the federal agents. We're told from HSI, Border Patrol, and ICE are also on that scene. Hennepin County Sheriff deputies are there trying to control the crowds, trying to keep people peaceful as they exercise their First Amendment rights. Once again, we did hear from Governor Walz, who did confirm that there is a shooting there by a federal law enforcement agency agent. We don't know exactly the condition of the person who was shot. We do not know the condition of the person who was shot right now, but CBS News has confirmed that there was a gun and 2 magazines on the suspect at the time of the shooting, and they are tweeting pictures of that to CBS News at this hour, telling us that that suspect who was shot by a ICE agent is actually had a gun in his possession as well as 2 magazines. Once again, the crowds are growing there outside the Good Grocer there at 27th and Nicollet Avenues. We do have a reporter at the scene. We will have another reporter at a briefing by Greg Bovino that's scheduled for 12 o'clock to hear exactly what he has to say about this, what seems to be the 3rd shooting here in our city by a federal law enforcement agency of someone who is a Minneapolis resident. So lots going on right now. We're getting information in just constantly. People are showing up at the scene, but the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and for those who are there to remain peaceful. Try to remain peaceful as you exercise your First Amendment rights. Now, there are those federal officers on standby. As Frankie Lister told us, they do have chemical irritants ready to deploy. Right now, the crowds are remaining behind the yellow tape, and that's a good thing. They do not want any interaction with the crowd as they investigate exactly what led up to the shooting and what is going on there now at the scene. Once the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible and to remain peaceful if you are there. As Frankie was telling us earlier, a lot of people are just showing up. They're hearing about this. There are a lot of people on patrol with those whistles. We're hearing a lot of those whistles in the background. People are blowing the whistles at the ICE agents who have joined HSI agents as well as agents of the Border Patrol. They're forming a perimeter around that area, trying to keep that scene safe as investigators move in to try to figure out exactly what happened. As you can see there, I think that tape goes all the way from 27th, possibly to 25th Avenues there on Nicollet, making sure that the crowds stay back while they investigate exactly what's happening. Once again, if you're just joining us, breaking news, the Governor Walz has tweeted that he is aware of another shooting by a federal law enforcement agency in Minneapolis, in the city of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis this time, near 27th and Nicollet Avenue in front of the Good Grocer there. As you can see the video there on your screen, crowds are growing and federal agents are forming a perimeter around that area, trying to maintain the sanctity of that scene while they investigate exactly what is happening. Lots going on right now near 27th and Nicollet. Once again, the city is asking people to avoid that area if all possible. If you are there, to be peaceful. If you are there protesting at this hour. Once again, CBS News has confirmed that the suspect did have a gun. The individual, we'll call him individual, had a weapon at the scene with 2 magazines there. They are tweeting pictures to CBS News that this is what that individual had on him that was shot at this hour. Right now, crowds are growing outside the Good Grocer there near 27th and Nicollet. We see a lot of federal agents on the scene. We also see Hennepin County deputies there trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the people who are there blowing their whistles and screaming at ICE agents at bay while they investigate exactly what happened. We do see HSI agents, Border Patrol, and ICE agents on the scene. Photojournalist Ray Campos there at the scene giving us that live look. As you see, they're in force. We believe about 3,000 of those agents are in Minnesota at this time. They were sent here for Operation Metro Surge. And that's been going on about 6 or 7 weeks right now. More than 3,300 people have been arrested, we're told. But CBS News and WCCO has not been able to independently confirm that those numbers are correct. But we are told from DHS that 3,300 people have been arrested during this Operation Metro Surge. All of this is happening just a day after thousands of people descended upon our city in Minneapolis, taking place in an ice out. The biggest of those events started at the Commons outside of US Bank Stadium and went all the way to Target Center, where there was a rally that went on for most of the afternoon. We have another reporter on the scene. Duxter is there live near 27th and Nicollet. Adam, if you can hear me, what's going on there?
And you can see that cloud, that is not fog, that is tear gas, and that has pushed a lot of this crowd back. I can tell you, sorry, that it hurts to breathe out here. And this is when we have seen some of the largest clashes with these federal agents and the people on the scene. As you can hear more chemical agents being deployed is when a scene like this happens, Reg, as you hear more chemical agents being deployed. We see these large clashes when they try and get these crews out of the scene. Again, you can just see it. You can see this cloud, and I can tell you that at 26 and Nicollet, it is hard to breathe. You can see state patrol on the scene. You see these buses, and you can see they sent a number of state troopers in. All at once, presumably for crowd control, but you can just hear more of those chemical agents being used right now. And I can tell you there's maybe 100 to 200 people who were on the corner of 26th and Nicollet attempting to get closer. And then these tear gas and whatever chemical agents that they're using were deployed. You can just hear these bangs after bangs. And honestly, Reg, I'm worried for Frankie and Ray. They're basically on the other side of this block. I'm not sure what they're seeing right now, but I can tell you that Minnesota State Patrol is on the scene and presumably assisting with crowd control. But you can just see that cloud right there. And I can tell you, Reg, that if anyone is in that cloud right now, they are hurting. Because even from a distance, the tear gas, it burns everywhere inside of you, Reg. But again, there are reinforcements, so to speak, on the scene. We know it was federal agents on the scene this morning. Presumably, you don't want to speculate, but doing some sort of efforts. But now you have local authorities. Again, Minnesota State Patrol. You see the state trooper trucks there, and you could just see that haze right there, Reg. And also, not worse, forgetting, Reg, that it is blistering cold outside. Even a few minutes outside, it is very, very cold for anyone right now. But again, it was just a moment ago as we were walking up. They deployed those chemical agents, and it dispersed much of the crowd. We'll try and get a little bit closer. Obviously, we want to stay out of harm's way ourselves. But Reg, I can tell you that the reinforcements, so to speak, on scene wasted no time. And they're trying their best to clear out any crowd that is here at the moment.
Thank you, Adam Dutch on the scene there. Be careful out there and make sure you catch your breath. Those chemical irritants are really bad, and they've been deployed, as you said, by members of the Minnesota State Patrol. There, the city of Minneapolis did send out information asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and asking for the protesters who were there, exercising their First Amendment rights, to be very peaceful. Let's go to Frankie Mellister, who's also boots on the ground. He's on the other side of where those chemical irritants were being deployed. Frankie, what's going on now?
Yeah, Reg, so we're just south of where Adam is. We're at 27th and Nicollet, but I'm going to step out and show you right here as Ray Campos behind the camera shows you. Agents are coming from where Adam was, and as you could hear Adam, and I hope he's doing okay up there, he was breathing in some chemical irritants. So we're seeing a lot of those agents move from north there, south, where exactly we are. We're told that the incident happened around where we're standing right now. There's a grocery store. We're hearing the incident occurred nearby, and that grocery store is right here on the corner of Nicollet Ave. The folks chanting, and I'm going to try and speak louder as that is happening. They're chanting shame, and they're saying that as these agents kind of just walk south in this area, you're seeing agents right there from Border Patrol. We're also seeing some Hennepin County sheriffs, as we've been mentioning all morning. As I've been here, we're noticing also those Hennepin County sheriffs are kind of on the outskirts of the scene, and it seems like just trying to secure and protect what's going on. Ray is shooting to our east right there. So as I'm going to back up because we know that there's some profanity as people are upset out here. But you're looking east right there. There are some agents standing by on 27th Street East there, as Ray shows you now, the intersection of 27th Street and Nicollet Avenue. We have not seen any chemical irritants be deployed here, as they have been where Adam is, just north of there. But I'll tell you, as we get closer, maybe, do you want to kind of show them what it looks like up there? I got you. Ray's up on a hill trying to give you a good point of view there. But as we walk right up to the line right here, you can see that they have chemical irritants in hand. And we're going to watch and be careful. Our crew, I'm just going to move you out of the way, man, right here. You can see right there that they are ready to deploy them if need be. We're seeing the amount of agents grow. We're also seeing the crowd of agents grow as time goes by. This tape line that you're seeing right here has been extended more and more since we've got here. We've probably been here about an hour or so. And I do want to reiterate what Adam said. It is bitter cold out here. And this comes just a day after that thousands took the streets of downtown Minneapolis, chanting their words against the federal agencies. We just asked Border Patrol Vivino a few days ago how many agents remain in our area, and he said that there were thousands still. He did not say that he would give us any specific number either. So right here, you're looking at the corner of 27th and Nicollet. Any chemical irritants be deployed here. There are some agents in the vehicle there. There are some, obviously, that you're looking at just standing on guard outside. We're seeing folks come out here with signs. We're seeing folks come here from all different neighborhoods. I've spoken with one that traveled here the second they heard of the incident that happened out here. We know that Governor Walz confirmed on social media that there was a incident, there was a shooting involving federal agents right here in Minneapolis, and that right there, you just saw a bystander throwing snow, and as you see right there, chemical irritants being held up at least by one agent. Ray, let's go ahead and show this point of view right there. Agents are looking to move back. So as this unfolds, it looks like people are running. And we are gonna Ray. Yeah, we're gonna move back. Stay on with us. Stay on with us. I'm watching out for Ray, my colleague. Ray, I got you right here. Let's move back because agents ended up charging out. They're going to keep going, so we're just going to move. Things are staying with us, guys. We're okay. I want to reiterate, we are okay. Ray's trying to give you the best point of view. We are moving west, and this is where agents ended up coming, so let's move this way. This is the only safe way to go.
What's so great about the January sell-off at Furniture?
Reg, I just want to show you, we talked about earlier, this is what we were talking about between these clashes between people who are out here and federal agents, as we've moved in significantly since you last saw us where the tear gas was deployed. And two federal agents, U.S. Border Patrol, came back to get that silver SUV you see right there. We're immediately met with the crowd. You see everyone, Reg, in those high-vis vests. I do believe that is Minnesota State Patrol that is out here. Again, helping to work with crowd control. We've heard from them in the last few weeks saying that they're going to be here potentially assisting, and that if you see any of their deputies with Minnesota State Patrol, they'll be wearing those high visibility as you on the intersection of 26th and Nicollet, and that would be the intersection of 27th and Nicollet as you start to see just the dispersing people were chemical agents presumably again were deployed. But you can see Minnesota State Patrol here as these crowds are moving up, and then I want to pay your attention here, Will, if we could show, these are more vehicles that are attempting to get into this crowd, and I would guess, Reg, there's probably about 100. But this is where we've seen some of the most significant clashes as these people are going to attempt to block the path of these vehicles. And again, this is where you worry, as I'm going to try and get really close to our photojournalist Will Grider out here, because this is where you worry, Reg, that they're going to start deploying more chemical irritants. It is these situations where people are attempting to get in the way of law enforcement as they're trying to move in and out. We've seen with federal agents on certain scenes where people will bash in these windows, and then the federal agents will come out and deploy tear gas or pepper spray. But again, Will, I want you to see. Will is showing who's inside that vehicle there. Will, we're seeing now people walk up on this line. Will, to your left. Now they're walking back people, as you see it right now. And this is where, again, you start to worry about people's safety and the potential for a clash. We have State Patrol walking people back. And these are actually conservation officers. You can see it on their vests. Will is getting right up to one right now. And again, they're trying to get these vans through, but this crowd is doing everything they can to block it. They're trying their best to do a semicircle as you hear these shouts of shame. They're trying to get these vans through, Reg, but you really worry about people clashing with law enforcement that's out here on the scene. And it appears that these law enforcement are now walking backwards and attempting to set up some more of a perimeter. Again, this is crowd control, Reg. This is people who are very, very, very upset clashing right now. Again, I believe these are conservation officers that are out here, and they're out here, as you can see, Reg, they've got the full kit on, if you will. And again, Reg, I'm not sure if they're going to deploy more chemical irritants. We saw that happen just a moment ago. But this is a very, very, very tense scene. As tense as one as I've ever seen, Reg, in the last 2 weeks, Reg. And we apologize for the profanities over the air. But again, this is a very, very, very tense scene, Reg. As you see people walking right up to the line here.
Adam, the city of Minneapolis is also asking people to avoid that area near 27th and Nicollet if all possible. And they're asking the protesters who are on the scene now to remain peaceful. But this has been their message from the beginning since Operation Metro Surge began. They want those who are protesting to remain peaceful while exercising their First Amendment rights. If you are just joining us, we are on the scene of 27th and Nicollet Avenue, where a federal agent has shot one individual. We are being told that Governor Walz knows about this as well, and he is tweeting that he knows that a federal agent has shot a man near 27th and Nicollet, and that's where Frankie Mellister is there. Frankie, were there chemical irritants being released where you were at?
Red, there were, and there's actively some, so we're going to continue to keep watch right here. My man, Gray Compass, behind the camera. We have a security agent with us, too. The three of us just trying to do the best we can while this unfolds. We have seen different chemical irritants be deployed, pepper balls, because what we saw was occurring was an individual, a bystander, threw a chunk of snow at an agent. And let's move back, Ray. We're just going to move back a little more. We're on 27th. Ray's going to try and do his best to show you what it looks like we're doing right here. I'm going to ask some of these community members their plans. What are your plans with these right here? What are your plans with these? Just to kind of block off the road. It seems like that's what they're trying to do. Many very upset out here. We're on 27th Avenue, 27th Street, one of the two. Be careful there, Ray. West. Nicollet, this is the area. Adam was on the north side. We're on the south side of Nicollet. And what we know thus far from what we've heard is the incident occurred earlier at this intersection. So you're looking at kind of the area that this video that has gone viral this morning and bringing more and more folks out to this part of Minneapolis. As Governor Walz confirming online that there was a shooting involving federal agents. CBS News continually working to find out more about the specific situation itself. You can learn more on our website as this unfolds on WCCO.com. And we are just continually working to kind of see, and this is how fast things change out here, guys. Now you see it's a little calmer. There's not really much ruckus up in the air. You might hear some profanity. Right, let's kind of show right behind here. So we're west on, what was this, 27th, I believe. 27th and Nicollet. This is where everybody kind of pushed back. Right, showing you the perspective of where community members kind of came. And those irritants, guys, when they are deployed, you breathe them in and they get in your lungs, and they're kind of hard to get out of your lungs and your breath as just time unfolds. And as things get more intense, you don't know where other pepper balls are being sprayed to, and where things are going to continue to get more intense and not. What we did see is right there, you're looking at the intersection again, Nicollet and 27th. There's more and more agents there. This is the most probably biggest group of agents I've seen since we've been out here. And I'd say we've been out here probably about an hour or so. We know the chemical irritants where my man Adam Duxter is right on the north side of Nicollet. He's at 26th and Nicollet, right south of downtown Minneapolis. We're in the Garfield neighborhood. There are things being thrown over there. So agents are running this way. Just want you to know that, Ray. We saw more, and they're coming. They are coming. Ray, be careful right there, man. And what I witnessed before the agents just started to come up a little more was I saw some more snow being thrown. So watch out, dude.
Frankie, we were just hearing that the individual who was shot by the federal agent has died. We are just now learning that the individual who was shot by a federal agent there near 27th and Nicollet Avenues has died. That shooting happened a little over an hour ago near 27th and Nicollet in front of the Good Grocer. We are just learning that the individual who was shot by federal agents here in Minneapolis has died. Earlier, we did learn from DHS. They said that that individual had a gun and 2 magazines, and now we are learning that that person who was shot by a federal agent near 27th and Nicollet has died. We do want to apologize for the profanity that you were hearing because this is a very fluid type of situation. The crowds are growing. Even though the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible. They are asking the people who are there exercising their First Amendment rights to protest, do so peacefully. But as Frankie Melissa was saying, that they saw some of those people out there throwing chunks of snow or ice at those federal agents. That's why chemical irritants have been deployed. We have Adam Duxer on the north side of the incident on Nicollet Avenue and Frankie on the south side, and both have experienced chemical irritants being used to control the crowds. We also see members of the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, as well as people from the State Patrol, as well as conservation officers there trying to control the crowd. Our Adam Duxer is there, boots on the ground. Adam, what's going on there?
Yeah, Reg, it's essentially a standoff now between this line of conservation officers and this crowd. I want Will to turn around and give you an idea of the size of this crowd right now. And more people are showing up by the moment. And there's people who have come here essentially, Reg, on a moment's notice. I wanted to talk to one person. Tell me, what brought you out here this morning to be here in person?
After hearing about what happened this morning, I decided I had to come out because of the shooting that just recently happened. We need to show ICE that this can't keep happening to our people, the people of Minnesota, and we're not going to stand for it.
We're on 26th and Nicollet. This is Eat Street. This is a vibrant part of our community. And you're looking out right now at this. How would you describe just the way you're feeling right now when you see what you're seeing on the street?
It's a mix of heartbreak, and it brings a sense of community together to see all these people that have decided to come out. But it is heartbreaking that we have to keep doing this in order to get justice for what's right.
Are you worried about chemical agents and chemical irritants? We saw the crowd get tear gas a moment ago.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I hope everyone can continue to mask up. I mean, we don't have what they have to protect ourselves.
If you were to want people who are watching at home right now to know one thing, what would you want them to know?
I would tell them to keep using their voices and speak out and continue to, if they're able to, come outside and show what we stand for here.
What's your name?
Regina.
Mary from here in Minneapolis.
Yes, I'm from St. Paul.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it. Stay safe and stay warm. And Reg, that is what you're hearing from so many people here as it's essentially devolved into a standoff with these conservation officers out here right now. As you mentioned, Regina, as we see more chemical agents now being deployed over on this other side, just to the east of us in this neighborhood here, we're going to try and get a little closer and see if there's a clash there. Again, people are going around the side as you're just hearing a bang and a boom out here, essentially every other minute at this point. But you saw part of the crowd leave where we were standing with the conservation officers, and now you see more chemical agents being deployed here, essentially trying to drive people. This is just east of Nicollet and 26, Reg, down an alley. I'm not sure what maybe led to this, but you hear these whistles going. I'm going to try and find someone, Reg, that maybe saw what potentially led up to this and talk with them. Did you see what happened just there?
Shooting itself?
No, just now in this alley.
Popping smoke or whatever else.
Who's down there? Did you see?
I believe it's ICE. That's what some people are saying.
And so just another conflict. I'll let you catch your breath. Reg, again, we're hearing just people who say they feel like they have to be here, they have to show up. Again, it's very, very cold outside. It is dangerously cold outside. And you can hear just the frustration in people's voices. But again, this was, just about a half block east in this alley where, excuse me, Reg, as I'm breathing in some of these chemical irritants myself, something happened here, and it kind of drew the main attention away from Nicollet for a second. And you've got people who are here, Reg, just looking for some sort of way to do something. And again, they're met with these chemical agents and this tear gas and these chemical irritants. As we walk you right back over here to essentially what you want to call the main standoff. This is on the north side again. If you're just tuning in, we're just north of 26 and Nicollet, and I want you to look at this line essentially of conservation officers who are essentially standing off right now with people in the crowd. I will say that there hasn't been any clashes, if you will, between these conservation officers and anyone in this crowd. We did see a moment ago as they're attempting to bring more vehicles into this scene. There were some very tense moments where it didn't look like they were going to be able to get through, and they're thinking about more clashes or more chemical agents being deployed. But you can see this is where we're looking, Reg. 26 in Nicollet. And again, this is just over 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 3 days after federal agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good. It is sent so much more people here to the front lines, if you will. So many more people feeling like they need to show up for themselves and be active themselves. We saw yesterday thousands and thousands and thousands of people in downtown Minneapolis on the coldest day of the year so far, just trying to make their voices heard. And not even 24 hours after that, again, we know that a federal agent has shot and killed another person. And Reg, we know that there's 3,000 federal agents in town already. They've been touting the thousands and thousands of arrests that they've been making since Operation Metro Surge began the first week of December. But you're also seeing the strife now of a community and just the frustration and heartbreak of a community who has now witnessed a federal agent use a gun for the third time in the last 3 weeks, if you will. Again, one of those shootings was fatal. Actually, 2 of those shootings now we know were fatal. And we're gonna continue to monitor what we're seeing here, Reg. But again, it's such a tense scene here on the north end of where the shooting happened.
I've near 26 in Nicollet. Adam, thank you for that update. We are also talking about the individual who was shot has died. We also have some video in that is circulating on social media that shows what led up to the shooting. We want to warn you, this could be very graphic and upsetting for some of our viewers. The video shows a bunch of federal agents actually having an altercation with the individual on the ground. You can see one of the agents come in, they are punching the man, and then all of a sudden you hear gunshots. We're not exactly sure where those gunshots came from, but the crowd erupts after that happens. And like you see, once again, there's an altercation between that individual on the ground near 27th and Nicollet. Several officers on top of this individual. They are punching on him, and then you hear shooting and profanity. That is a video that is circulating on social media. It's been given to us, and we are sharing it with you as we learn more about what is exactly happening there and what happened at 27th and Nicollet. We're told that at 11:30 there will be a briefing by Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Since Operation Metro Surge began, they have been asking protesters and crowds to remain peaceful, and they will continue to do that again at 11:30 at briefing and talk more about this federal agent allegedly shooting an individual, and that individual, as we have learned, has died from his injuries. We do have several reporters on the ground. Adam Duxer's on the north side of where the incident unfolded, and Frankie McLister is on the south side of where this incident unfolded. We did hear from DHS, who wrote into CBS News and showed pictures saying that the individual who was shot and is now dead had a gun and 2 magazines on his person. They are also tweeting pictures of that to show that he did have a gun and 2 magazines. We did just show you this video that was given to us here at WCCO showing those agents on top of that individual. Punches are being thrown by federal agents, and then the sound of gunshots. The crowd erupts with a lot of profanities, but as you see right there on your screen, several agents, more than 4 or 5, are on this individual. One agent comes in swinging and next thing they know, they kind of disperse and we hear gunshots. That is video that is circulating on social media right now about what happened at 27th and Nicollet right before shots rang out, and now the individual who was shot, we are learning, is deceased. Governor Walz has also tweeted that he is aware of this happening. We're going to expect to hear from Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara at 11:30, and then we're told a press conference at noon from Border Patrol head Greg Bovino. He was expected to speak at 11 o'clock today, but has pushed that back to 12 o'clock because of the incidents that are unfolding in South Minneapolis. This is the third shooting that we've had of federal agents of Minneapolis residents since Operation Metro Surge began. And all this comes just a day after thousands of protesters came to Minneapolis to express their concern about ICE being in their community. There were ministers and people from all over the country that showed up. They marched from the U.S. Bank Stadium Commons all the way to Target Center, and that's where they held a rally to show that they do not want ICE in our community. Once again, let's go to our Adam Duxter, who is on the north side of this incident near 26 and Nicollet. Adam, what's going on there now?
Yeah, Reg, you saw us a moment ago standing kind of face to face with those conservation officers just north of 26th and Nicollet. What you're looking at right now is essentially a half a block to the east. This is an alleyway. We're looking right at Little Tijuana, right here just off 26th and Nicollet. But you also see those agents lined up, and the crowd has essentially here learned that this is the way to get to the federal agents, and so now this is a standoff. Again, if Will can show, Will, can we show these conservation officers maybe to the right? So that's where the Nicollet is. That's Nicollet, and all the conservation officers are here. Again, this is a half block to the east. As you see this standoff between presumably federal agents down there, we see some plainclothes people, and you can see them standing there, essentially looking at this crowd. And when you were with us here, probably what was that, 5 or 8 minutes ago, we were here in the same area, and we saw chemical agents being deployed, and I believe now this is why. Again, you have part of this crowd here who is so frustrated and angry and wants to get close to the federal agents who are here on scene. Again, Reg, they haven't been able to clear this scene yet. And when Renee Good was shot and killed, again, just over 2 weeks ago, that's where we saw some of the largest clashes between people who had shown up and the federal agents, was when the federal agents were trying to get out and get their vehicles out. And that's when you saw people being tear gassed. That's when you saw people being pepper sprayed, essentially from point blank range. Our crews were caught up in that moment because at some point, Reg, these federal agents are going to have to get out of this intersection. And at this point, Reg, I don't know how they're going to do that without there being some sort of clash. We saw just a moment ago a clash when they were trying to get local law enforcement through this crowd on Nicollet. And I can tell you, Reg, that at some point, again, these federal agents are going to have to get out of this area. And you can see them standing right in front of Little Tijuana there to give you kind of a landmark of what we're near. We're just north of 26th and Nicollet. And you see this crowd of about maybe 24 people. There's more kind of around us right now. It's a standoff, Reg, and they're waiting to see what's going to happen. We've already seen chemical agents used one time against this crowd here, just again, a half block east of 26th and Nicollet. But you're just not sure what's going to happen next. And Reg, if I could show you one more time, it's like I said, it is it's true to form. That crew that we just saw right there, and then we have this crowd here that are standing off against the conservation officers that are on the scene. Again, we've seen Minnesota State Patrol troopers. We've seen, the conservation officers who are here on scene. These are the local law enforcement agents who are being called in to serve as crowd control for these federal agents who are here. But again, Reg, the thought that keeps going through my mind is at some point these federal agents are going to have to try and clear this scene. You don't know when it's going to be, what they have to do beforehand, or what they're trying to do beforehand, or if they're trying to strategize a crowd control plan. But I can tell you, as someone who was at the scene 25 minutes after Renee Good was killed 2.5 weeks ago, is that when these federal agents try and leave this scene, that is when we are going to see a clash. That is kind of the fear between them and the crowd that's here. So we'll continue to keep watching this, Reg. We'll try and look for some more people to talk to potentially. But again, this is where you saw, again, just about 10 minutes ago, the chemical agents deployed. I was running towards it. I was trying to figure out what was going on. This is what we saw, which is, again, this is the crowd with the conservation officers, and this is the crowd here standing off of federal agents. And again, Reg, I can't begin to describe to you how surreal it is to be here and just hear things exploding or blowing up every few minutes. And again, you would guess that is the chemical irritants that they're using to try and clear the crowd where they can. But just an absolutely surreal morning when it is real feel, in the negative teens. This is the crowd that's shown up, and we're not quite sure what's going to happen next, Reg.
Adam, do the crowds appear to be growing? Because I know the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area. Are they listening, or do you see more people actually showing up there to protest?
Yeah. That's showed up. For folks who just turned on the TV, when we first showed up here, myself and the photojournalist I'm working with, there was caution tape up, probably a block to the north, so that'd be 25th and Nicollet. There's caution tape up, and people were trying to kind of huddle around that caution tape, and then we saw the chemical agents dispersed, and the crowd kind of scattered back. But now you are seeing, and we're getting a sense, this crowd is growing. Again, Frankie's on the south side of the crowd, and we are on the north side. I'm guessing for many people, if they're coming from the north side, we're just about a mile from downtown, right? And so it's hard to gauge really how big this crowd is when you've got half on one side and half on the other side. But I can tell you, between this group here and the group that's standing off with these conservation officers, I'd say it's probably about 100 or 150 people, with people coming by the minute. And I can tell you this, Reg, I mean, this is just what we've seen over the course of the last few weeks, is that when we pulled up, there are, Honda Civics pulling up with 4 people in it, and they've got gas masks on, and they've got, they're ready. They're ready to be here. And people are coming together. They're coming in groups. We've seen people over the course of the last, month and a half spend entire days following around these federal agents and working in groups. There are people who have mobilized using signal chats. There are people who have formed community task forces. There are people who, in their neighborhood, have neighborhood crews who go out and watch. And so you're watching people show up together. But again, Reg, I don't know what's going to happen next. And at some point, these federal agents are going to have to get out. I don't know if they're going to try and go north. I don't know if they're going to try and go south. But I can tell you, just from watching what we've seen, whether it was at the South Minneapolis shooting where Renee Good was killed, whether it was at the North Minneapolis shooting last week Wednesday, where we saw a man get shot, or even today, you would anticipate that these big clashes are going to come when the federal agents are trying to leave the scene and get out of here. And you just hope and pray, Reg, that no one else gets hurt in all this. You really do. But this is what we're seeing, Reg. It's a standoff right now, and I think we're going to try and get maybe a little bit closer to the scene. Nicolette talked to a couple of people, but it's a standoff, and more people are showing up by the minute.
Thanks a lot, Adam Dutzer, live there at 26 and Nicollet Avenue in South Minneapolis. I'm now joined by my colleague and friend, Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. And we are learning from the Associated Press that the individual who was shot and killed was a 51-year-old man, according to the Associated Press. We do have some video that was just into our studios that shows exactly what led up to the shooting. Hopefully we can roll that video. And it was given to us by a bystander and showed this man was being pummeled by some of the ICE agents, and then they dispersed and there was gunfire. So right now we're going to go to Frankie McLister. Frankie is on the
North
south
side.
side. But are you on the north side now, Frankie, or are you on the south side?
South side.
No, we're on the south side. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, Frankie.
Okay, good. So as you see, we're right now on 27th. You're looking towards Nicollet. We've just had to honestly back up more and more as this just continues to be super fluid and can get pretty hectic on a moment's notice. You're seeing a lot of bystanders that have backed up because before Adam was talking, we saw more chemical irritants deployed this way, and we're going to continue to pay attention to that. But I spotted a woman who was kind of comforting an individual that was seemed to be in the middle of everything and had to run back here. Your name was Joy, right, ma'am? Yeah.
My name is Joy.
Where do you live, and what brought you? As we know, the people are irritated. Yeah. There's a lot of just profanity going on. What brought you out here? And kind of just tell me who you were chatting with and what words you were using to comfort her.
So my husband is in there somewhere. Like, we were at home, in our posh home in Edina, and we were watching the news and learned that there was another shooting here. And we were just like, I can't stand this anymore. I can't stand what's happening here. So we came out immediately, and we were here after a lot of the folks were getting pulled out and tear gas and can't see out of their own eyes because they're literally blinded by the chemicals. And so I was helping people back there, and I happened across this woman. I don't know where she is now, but she was having a panic attack. She was in the moment of having a panic attack. And I walked up and I gave her a huge hug, and I just said to her, I said, we got this. This is when we show our resolve as a city, because we're better than this. We are under attack by this administration right now, and this is not okay. It's just not. I'm a 55-year-old woman who lives in Edina, and I have to come in here and tell the world, we have to change this. This is not okay for our city.
How long have you lived in the Twin Cities?
This is my second stint in the Twin Cities. I was here 13 years the first time. I left for a little bit. I've been back now for 8.
Let me ask you, scenes like this have just drawn a spotlight across the world, across the country. What do the Twin Cities mean to you? What do you want to show to people outside that are only seeing instances such as all this tension happening right now and back in 2020?
I believe that the Twin Cities represents the best of America on a fundamental level.
Why and how so?
Because we represent this idea of embracing others from other places. I mean, there are 160 different nationalities that live in this city because, there's a lot of refugee programs that are based out of this city. We invite them in because we know that they belong here, that they're welcomed here. This is about attacking the fundamental principles of our country right now. We are one country, regardless of where we come from. We're all immigrants and we're sitting on native land.
I'm just going to ask us to move back as maybe Ray can just kind of point the camera. This is, again, just how fast things are moving, where you're seeing some folks that just ran, but it looks a little calmer. And thank you for your time, Joy. Please take care of yourself. All right, please. Adam was saying he can't even describe, honestly, the feeling out here. Talking with folks like Joy, guys, and just hearing these explosive sounds, it is kind of, I won't cut it, very surreal to be out here. We're at the corner of 27th and Nicollet. You can see the smoke that has filled the air. We got here probably, let me look at my phone right now to even see the time. I see it says 11:10 a.m. I also see it's -10. Clearly that's not stopping folks from showing up and voicing their opinions against the federal agents that stand right there in the center. And if you look at the intersection, it looks like it's completely on fire. When we got here, it was a little bit that chemical irritants weren't deployed. We saw the agents just moving in more and more, and kind of just some on side streets as we're on now, standing by. to be prepared to deploy the chemical irritants, and now as you see, they're not shy about doing that. The first one I want to notice that I saw being deployed was right shortly after a bystander took a chunk of snow and threw it at some of the agents. So that quickly made them move towards the bystanders here, as the video of the man in his 50s that we now have confirmed did die in the situation this morning. But as that video circulates, we know that more and more people hear about the situation and come out to where it happened. And we'll see if we can't give you guys a little more point of view closer. But for now.
You, Frankie. And we heard that woman's voice. We heard the urgency. I think a lot of people are finding out, turning the TV on, looking at social media and saying, oh no, not again. I think that's the sentiment of a lot of people this morning. We're getting bits and pieces, and we first got this information, Reg, you said you guys were off the set about 9 o'clock and you start hearing there's a shooting involving ice.
And now we have Mike Max, who was out there on the scene. And Mike, our sports director, is doing what he can to help tell the story. Mike, what's going on? Yes.
One Minnesota, man, we're all in this together. We've got the traffic trying to come through. We've got the Border Patrol here, and we've got protesters right here. So they just came over to back people off. And what's happening is the line of demarcation just keeps getting a little bit closer here, a little scary. They're also trying to allow traffic to come through here. But you can see what's going on. They're within a few feet of each other, and you see more people, more law enforcement coming now from the, I guess what would be south, and they're trying to, obviously, this situation just could escalate anytime because the people are hot and they're getting closer and closer and trying to move people into certain directions, keep them on the sidewalks, all of that, because you've also got traffic coming through here that they're trying to make way for in South Minneapolis. Some perhaps curious, some perhaps live in this area, but right now you can feel, because it's drifting our way again. Here comes the tear gas, and the Border Patrol, federal officer, Bureau Border is trying to keep peace. You can feel it. What you're basically seeing behind me is protesters calling out law enforcement for what they believe happened this morning not far from here, and law enforcement trying to hold their own and stay calm. But this is electric right here. We'll try to get a different angle on it, but this is going to go on for a little while, I think, as they try to bring traffic through as well. We'll keep you updated, Reg, but it's tense out here again.
The temperature is so high right now. We know Adam Duxter has a different perspective of this going on. He's also near the scene. Adam, what is it like where you are right there near Nicolette in the scene of where this happened?
Susan, Reg, look at this. This is an armored vehicle that is trying to get through the scene. Look at this. Look at this. There's a dozen people. This is on the north side, and you see people trying to punch the windows off of this car. And people are literally hanging onto the hood of this vehicle. People are throwing trash cans on top of this vehicle. But this is an armored vehicle. I cannot make out who this is, what agency this is. But this is an armored vehicle trying to get in the scene. And again, Reg and Suze, I've been saying this as we see another clash here between the conservation officers trying to clear the scene. And this is where we're going to see the issues, is them trying to get in and out. And I'm not sure who's in there, guys. I'm not sure who, but I can tell you we were just trying to talk to someone a moment ago, hey, how do you feel? What do you see type interview? And all of a sudden, you just hear that thing coming through, and it's just pure chaos. You saw people hanging on the hood right there, and you just fear for people out here as you see these conservation officers. Now, this is as intense as it's been, and we apologize for the profanities that you're hearing on your TV right now, but that is a seriously heavily armored vehicle that just made its way through. You saw people literally hanging off of the hood of that car. again, I apologize for the profanities that you're hearing, but that was as intense as we've seen it out here so far this morning, guys. And again, that's Black Sheep Pizza right there in the corner. We're on 26 in Nicollet. You're headed into Eat Street. These are the restaurants that make Minneapolis famous, as far as, and I fear there's going to be some sort of chemical agents deployed here. I'm not sure who is in that car as we see the back door open of this vehicle now. Will, I want to stay close to you just in case we do see some sort of chemical agents deployed. I fear that could be what's coming next. But Reg and Suze, this is the heart of Minneapolis as far as Eat Street. This is where people come when you have friends and family come into town and you say, hey, let's go to Eat Street, Nicollet, and you say, let's go. This is the culture and the diversity of the city is Eat Street, and it's everywhere down here on Nicollet as far as the different restaurants, the different types of food, and this is what you're seeing now just be the heart of this fight, as we just saw that heavily armored vehicle come through, and people fight. But I mentioned earlier we saw a standoff in front of Little Tijuana. We saw now them coming through by Black Sheep Pizza. Just really hoping for people's safety out here on this scene now.
Okay, well, we want you to watch your safety too. Thank you so much, Adam. You and your photographer, stand by, take care. We're going to go to Frankie McClister, who is on the other side of the action. I think the south
He's
side,
on the south
right?
side of that event. Frankie, what are you seeing right now?
Texas is feeling
Center in downtown Minneapolis, where anti-ICE protesters are gathered after marching through the brutal cold. Hundreds of businesses across the state are closed today in a show of solidarity.
And dozens of faith leaders were arrested at the airport town.
Despite the cold, protests got a little heated at the Whipple Federal Building. The sheriff's office used pepper spray after protesters threw snowballs at squad cars, breaking windows. Some were let off in handcuffs.
Also today, federal agents defended to detain this little boy. They say his father took off running and agents took care of him.
I will say unequivocally that we are experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again, experts in dealing with children.
March and rally through downtown Minneapolis, protesting ICE arrests in Minnesota. Our Frankie McClister joins us now from the Target Center.
Frankie, certainly a cold day to march outside. That shows some commitment there. What are you hearing from demonstrators today?
Yeah, guys, and that definitely didn't stop folks from coming out here. We are inside of the Target Center right now, where on my press badge, it says the name of the event, and that is ICE out of Minnesota, and what they say, a day of truth and freedom. We'll toss to some video right now because there was a march that led up to this entire gathering right here inside of the Target Center. This is a scene of what we saw earlier, folks gathering on what they are saying is a general strike today. As we know, many businesses are closed, or they say their reasons why they're open today. Minneapolis schools being closed today too, but they do have a teacher work day. So that brought a lot of folks out. And the march started near the Commons, which is right smack dab near US Bank Stadium. It proceeded on 3rd Street, up Hennepin, and then it landed right here at the Target Center. Now, I spoke with a teacher amongst all of those protesters who said what she's most concerned about.
The safety of my students and their families, their inability to work and make money, getting groceries, paying their rent, and frankly, the violent tactics that are harming our community.
So that's just one of many we spoke to. I want to clarify, there were also folks at today's gathering in downtown. I haven't seen any inside of here, but that were for and praising
President Trump announcing border czar Tom Homan will head to Minneapolis as his administration defends an expanded immigration crackdown that has sparked protest and turned deadly. National Kayla Gaskins has a story from Washington.
Whoa! Escalating political rhetoric and another deadly turn in Minneapolis.
Nobody in the White House, including President Trump, wants to see people getting hurt or killed in America's streets.
President Trump announced he is sending border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota following the Saturday shooting of a protester by federal agents in the Twin Cities. The incident marks the second fatal shooting involving immigration officers in Minneapolis this month. In a Truth Social post Monday morning, the president said he spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, calling it a very good call, and Walz calling it productive. Trump telling Walz he wants them to turn over all illegal immigrants in state prisons and jails. He also wants local and state authorities to work with federal forces on the ground.
If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota.
The Trump administration has blamed state and local leaders for language it says has encouraged protesters and created dangerous and chaotic conditions on the ground.
This tragedy occurred as a result of a deliberate hostile resistance by Democrat leaders in Minnesota. For weeks, Governor Walz and the Mayor Jacob Frey and other elected Democrats were spreading lies about federal law enforcement officers.
Such as Governor Walz comparing ICE in Minneapolis to the Nazis in 1930s Europe.
We have got children in Minnesota
hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota.
Democrats and local leaders in Minnesota, however, say the real issue is what they call excessive force by federal agents and the defense of what they see as indefensible actions. This shooting has led Minnesota officials to mobilize the National Guard as protesters clash with federal agents, and demands for accountability have come from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, calling for transparent investigations. In Washington.